hello there, Chick Chat. We're back with Match Me Abroad. This is season 2, episode 5, and we're back on track with our regular weekly lives for now.
For now.
For now. Next week might be a little strange, but we're going to try to do it, I think, maybe a day or two early, but we will see. We have to coordinate a little.
It's possible, yes.
I do go on vacation next Friday. I'll be out for a week, but so not this next week coming up, but the week after that, we'll probably have something more on like the weekend, maybe Saturday or something. And then we might go back to our weekly schedule until I have to move back up to Michigan. So just bear with us as usual, because it's going to be crazy until probably mid to late September. And then everything will go back to normal. And hopefully we'll have like Sister Wives or something back. You never know. So we'll have better content. And I do hear that Teen Mom might be filming again. It's been weird because I keep hearing that it's canceled. Then I also keep hearing that they might be filming. So
yeah, I saw that Jade was filming something. I mean, it's not known if it's necessarily Teen Mom, people said. I don't know what else it would be. It seems pretty quick after their show for them to be on another show, because I know they have all these like clauses that they have to abide by and they can't be on other shows. So I don't know. I mean, they may possibly be filming just to have some things ready because they've already taken such a pause. But again, like that costs money, so I don't know.
Well, and poor Jade, even if they're filming with her, like they ain't gonna show it. So they're just doing it for fun at this point. And I've also seen Leah filming something, but I don't know if that was just for herself or what that was about. But I saw something on her Instagram about her filming something. And I'm like, girl, you're not very interesting either. If you're doing something on your own, I don't know what it could be.
Right. I mean, at least Jade is about to have these, twins come in that are not foster kids.
Foreign exchange.
Foreign exchange, yeah.
I hate how people are clickbaiting that. Like, Jade's having twins. I'm like, no, she's not. She is not.
Jade was clickbaiting that herself, though. I feel like she hasn't been. She keeps saying, the twins are coming. We're getting ready for the twins and blah, blah, blah. But she's not saying, these teenage foreign exchange students every time either. And I wouldn't want to say it every time, but at least until they get here, I feel like you should let people know exactly what you're talking about, not twins, because they left things so ambiguous at the end of that season. But
I'm still mad about that.
We should probably get into Match Me Abroad over here. Speaking of other shows, though, you will notice that Welcome to Plathville is sort of taking over the small corner here of our photos. And so it's possible even maybe at the end of today, it depends on how things go. Maybe, people will let me know and I'll ask again. But I might just kind of fill Anne in. You haven't really kept up, right? Very much just from what I've told you.
I've seen season 1, but I keep,
right.
It's been hard for me to go back and well, I think with all the other shows and stuff going on and then now me moving and stuff, it's just been so hard to go back and like watch that. But I have been meaning to catch up.
I think, well, and let me know how you feel, and maybe the people will let us know how they feel. Definitely drop a comment, even if you're rewatching. But I think it would be fun because you at least know who the people are. And I think it's fun because you really only know them when they were like actual Plathville people, when they didn't drink pop and everything. Okay, well, now they're getting divorced. Now they're threatening people. Now there's a whole fight that's going to break out at Lydia's wedding. Yes, Lydia is getting married to a man that everyone thinks is gay. Like, everything is crazy. And so I feel like it would be fun. Like, you don't even have to watch it or catch up. I could just tell you what's going on and you could react because you know them as like the sweet Plaths. And now they're these reckless, almost harmful individuals.
Yeah, I saw a photo of the dad and I was shocked.
He's ripped.
Like, rough now. Yeah.
I think it would be fun just for you to have some reaction to what's going on, because this season is going to be quite insane as far as like the plots and the things going on. I've heard a lot of behind the scenes and there's a lot going on. So I don't know. I wonder how you feel to just like hear the updates episode by episode, and then you can just say, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with anything at this point. Just let us know,
And then,
viewers. All
yeah,
3
and
of
then you
you.
don't have to catch up or watch it. I think that would be kind of an interesting take because you know them as season 1 class, and they're so different now.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yes.
quite
But anyways, getting
quite
into Match Me Abroad, which is
yes,
our passion project, as you guys can
it really
probably tell,
is.
because we be losing subscribers over this. But like,
You know what? We're staying here. We're staying the course.
yeah. So, anyways, we start this episode off with Sarah going on her first date, and she is the blonde bombshell, whatever, that's
Yeah.
in Singapore, who I think did absolutely no research on Singapore. She just chose Singapore based off of a movie by everything that happens in the state, but we will see. So Dolly
Yeah.
thinks that setting her up with a 30-something-year-old artist who lives in government housing is going to be sufficient for this girl. And
See, I don't think she thinks that this is her match. I think she's trying to do that typical matchmaker thing where they wear people down a little bit first.
yeah,
And I know she said that she wanted to set her up with someone who is completely different from what she usually dates. And I think she did check that box, for sure. I
mhm,
agree that our girl Sarah is not going to be satisfied with this man, not even close. But
no,
I think Dolly was trying to show her there were things that it seems like she did like about him, but she just doesn't seem like she's gonna make any concessions on what her standards are. And I think we're gonna learn more about that next episode too.
yeah, I just keep having this issue with these Americans are dating and they expect everything to be like it is in America. And it's like, no, you're
American,
going to a foreign country. Like,
yeah,
learn something about where you're going. Like,
yeah.
adjust a
I know
little bit.
last season they had what we called him Chad.
They were all
What was
Chad.
his name? Yeah. Well, last season we had
Well,
Chad,
the
who wasn't
one
Chad.
dude's real name was Chad, the passport bro guy.
I thought Chad was the lawnmower guy.
No, that's just what we kept calling him. He had a different name.
Oh, okay. Well, the
Mhm.
passport bro guy, she reminds me of the passport bro. It's kind of the same thing, but just a gender reversal. She's coming in there and she's expecting her own things based off of her own views, and she has no
Mhm.
openness to the culture or what's normal there. I can appreciate too that it's probably hard as an American. I don't know how I would wrap my mind around somebody who's living, in a small apartment with their mom at 35. But at the same time, too, I'm not out there, trying to date people based on things that I don't know anything about. So I
Right.
don't know.
Well, and I
Yeah,
think
it's going to be a rocky ride for her.
and it's a cultural thing too. Like you should look some of the stuff up before going. I think all she did was watch Crazy Rich Asians and she's like, "Yes,
Yeah.
sign me up.
Hmm.
Every Asian
Yeah.
must be rich."
She does have a really stereotypical view of Asian men. I think she thinks that they're all entrepreneurs, that they all have all this money, that they're ripped, that they have these family values and, all of these things. And, I'm sure some of them have some of those qualities, but same thing with Americans, like you and I were talking about earlier, the guy who sunburns the flag on his back and, is saying all this crazy stuff. I mean, we're not all like that too, but I'm sure people probably do, stereotype us as well. But
I think
it
it's
is
easy
interesting. That's
to.
part of why I like this show.
Yeah. So he takes her on a sightseeing extravaganza where they're kind of walking
Mhm.
around, seeing like some of the cool places. She's getting to know Singapore a little bit more. They're talking about his career, that he's an artist. And I think that was automatically a red flag for her because in the United States, being just an artist, a lot of the time you're either really successful or you're barely scraping by. So,
Right. And
um,
there's usually not a big in between there for that. And he, I mean, he also shares with her at this point that he used to beatbox a lot. Um, I will see later how she responds to that in real life, but I mean, I think we can all make a
yeah.
guess that it's not going to be great. So at this point, she starts talking in her confessional about how she's used to dating successful entrepreneurs. She's gathering that this man is not one of those, and she's trying to figure out if she can even salvage this. But she does think he's cute, and I think she's trying to have sort of an open mind about it, but I
I will say Asian men always have like a amazing head of hair, like full
true.
head of hair. Like look how thick
Yes.
that man's hair is.
I know our friend Tony coming up here is going to be super jealous.
It's just yes. I don't know if I call him my friend. He's more like my enemy right now. But
He's not my
anyways,
friend, but yeah.
speaking of him, we do meet
Well,
him.
actually, we got a bonus
Oh,
scene. I was
oh, this is the
able
bonus
to
thing.
catch Yeah, I was able to catch the More to Love episode. And typically they give 2 bonus scenes. And I mean, maybe I missed it, but I rewound and like wound past twice. And I only saw this one bonus scene. So we get a
Mhm.
bonus scene with Sarah. And he actually shows her his art, which I thought was interesting. And she did really like it. Again, I don't know why they're cutting these bonus scenes out because all the bonus scenes I've seen so far has provided so much more context that I feel like has been helpful. So we learned
Mhm.
that Freddie makes these hamsters and he calls them the hungry hamsters, and they're supposed to be representative of humanity and greed and that whole like we don't stop consuming things. We're like hungry hamsters. So they're all fat and chubby. Some of them are kind of cute like this one, and then there's kind of like a couple other different style like glass ones. He's got some dark looking ones that have ate their own hearts and stuff like this. And he said every hamster has a background and a deeper story. And basically the idea is that we're all like sacrificing something and consuming something. And so one of them was consuming its own heart so that it could like follow its passions because it had to sacrifice something in order to
Mhm.
follow its passions. So they all have these stories.
Kinda cool.
And Sarah actually was really interested and kind about it. I mean, I thought that they were cool. He probably had like 20 of them. So there was quite a few of them. And then he ended up gifting her one, which I thought was really sweet. I don't know again why this would not be on the show because Sarah is probably the type who wants gifts. She talked about wanting to be wined and dined. She got gifts. He gave her some stickers. And then what I thought was super cute was he put it in a like the little gift bag for her. And then he's like, but I'll carry it. And it's like,
Yeah.
he's at least a gentleman, it wasn't even a thing. So I thought that was really cute. And she was impressed by it.
Mhm. Yeah, I think though the little gestures aren't enough for her, but I do
Yeah,
like the little gestures. I think that that's really sweet. It's kinda like Harold, how he always gifts a drawing. Like
I know. Yeah. I was thinking of this last night.
I drew
But
this for you. Yeah. Anyway,
so we
so
move
we
over to Amber.
mhm. And, she's meeting up with Keavan again because she just went on her trauma date, and she's loving Keavan right now.
She is thrilled to see this man. And honestly, he looks good in this little sweater. I'm digging his beard. I don't know. I think I have a crush on Keavan too. So I don't blame Amber. But she came here with goals. She came here with a purpose. She wanted to learn more things about this man. She wanted to figure out about his future. And probably within minutes, she's sucking on his face.
Yep, they're just making out in the middle of the bar, getting cheered on by other Irishmen, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's just most of the date. She can't even really ask the questions, and I mean, we don't see it yet, but by the time she gets to the questions, it's kind of like
It's not
thrown
good.
in there.
It's not good at all. But I
No.
mean, he does let her know that he talked to his mom a little bit about her. And, it's funny because in the confessional, she seems like that makes her really excited. And she was all giggly about that. But when he said that, she seemed like she was scared. She's like, what did you tell your mom? And then he said all
Mhm.
these nice things. So, I mean, it just seems like she's not like she's losing herself. I mean, she brought this up a lot of times too, that she just gets caught up in the whirlwind, and I guess we're witnessing it. But I think maybe Katarina needs to go on a date with her and Keavan because she needs to sit between them. She needs to ask them a couple of questions. She needs to make sure that they're actually a match because I think this closeness was too much of a resemblance to when they met each other and they were all in each other's hearts and souls and everything. And I think Amber just could not get it together.
Yeah, and actually ask the real questions and the stuff that
Yeah.
she needs. And she acts like, she just has all the time in the world to ask these questions. Like, I don't want to ruin a moment. And it's like, girl, you probably have like a couple weeks here. Like, you need to ask these questions when you think of them.
Yeah, she wanted to bring Keevan back to the hotel room is what she wanted to do. But
I mean, it's like you can go on dates with other men. I'm sure if Katerina knew that this wasn't, working because of the goals thing, she'd find you a different kind of man. But
well, Katarina said she had several men lined up for her. So I
Mhm.
think I'm hoping to even still see her go out on another date. She said she has 3 weeks here. I don't know if that's 3 more weeks or, if she's already ate into some of that time, but it hasn't really been all that long. So I hope she goes on
Mhm.
at least one other date, regardless of what happens with Keevan, because she is obviously very enthralled by him right now. And she's in this weird Keevan trance. And I can appreciate her not wanting the farm, poo poo compost tea guy, but maybe Keevan is not your best match. He does not seem that much of a go getter.
Like he's interested in a future of any kind. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
Yeah, but she's been calling him Keeve, which I chuckled at.
so cute. I love it.
Like, Keeve.
Love
Hi,
it.
Keeve.
Eve. That's so
Anyways,
cute. I
no.
really love them together. I just really wanted him to say more than he said later on. But
Mhm.
we get to the villain of the season. I'm just gonna call him the villain.
Yes, our villainous Chad of the season. His name is Tony, but you might hear me call him Chad. For some
There's always a
reason,
villain.
yeah, a villainous Chad. It's just from our experience last season with the Chads, the actual Chads and the fake Chads and all that. Like, we have now come to have our villainous man be called Chad.
So
So it's nothing
welcome to
against
our channel.
yeah, nothing against the Chads of the world. If your man's is a Chad or whatever, like, I'm sorry about that. But it's, just from last season. So catch our last season recaps if you want full context. But this is, yes, our villainous man, bald Q-tip man of the season. He has these very unrealistic expectations of what he wants in a woman. He's going to Brazil to meet up with Luisa, and she was even shocked by his questionnaire because he wants things like a voluptuous woman because he thinks that they're the only kind of woman that can give birth to healthy children, women with long hair because women with short hair aren't hygienic apparently or don't know how to take care of themselves. Even though, as you can see in front of you, this man has zero hair. And in fact, we learned that he has to tattoo follicles onto his head to make it look like he has a hairline.
Yeah, just take one from Mike the situation and go to Turkey and get it done. Maybe your woman is in Turkey. You're not even far from there. I don't understand the tattoo thing versus just going to get some follicles actually implanted.
Yeah, and he like weirdly shaves his bald head as well. So he must have some hair that
I
grows
think
in somewhere.
probably, I'm sure there's some fuzzies there. When you're bald, you gotta keep the head nice and reflective and clean,
Mhm.
so it looks like you doing something with yourself. Like he wants these women to be looking like they're doing something with themselves. But this guy is insufferable. I'm sorry, I just can't really deal with all of his weird. Oh, he also doesn't want a woman that has fingernails because she'll either poke him in the eye or she'll break one and always be upset, as if your fingernails are the most important priority of everything. I don't understand. I have a broken fingernail. I'm not always upset about it. I
I'm
do
very
have one.
confused.
He's right about that.
I'm very confused about this man's like dating experiences and like
Yeah.
his past or his education. I think he needs more education than a wife right now. I think he needs to be educated about anatomy, maybe sex ed, maybe health, lots of
Yeah, like
things.
a child development class, just so he knows that healthy children come from all kinds of women's
And
bodies.
so do unhealthy children. I mean, shoot,
And
he
so
could
do
have bad
unhealthy.
genetics. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just the woman either, like it's a 50-50 thing. So you could have bad genetics as well. And it not even be the
I mean,
woman's fault.
we all know that when your hair runs off of the top of your head, that's genetic. So we're already 1 point deducted, I guess. Maybe that's why he needs someone who's so on point, because he knows he's not up to par.
Yeah, he does say he's got high expectations for women, but
Yeah,
I'm like, "But you don't for yourself, man. I mean, you got yourself a little pot belly trying to do
he
these
does.
grunting
And
exercises."
he's got this strange apartment. He's definitely not living the Ferrari lifestyle, as he likes to remind us. He's got no decorations. I mean, everybody has this at the at-home store for $20. It's just crazy. And what I noticed too was when he was packing his suitcase, everything is blue.
Everything is blue. Yes, and it looks like he's wearing swim trunks, like, all the time,
Well, he is a Florida man.
I
Let's not
guess.
forget,
Yeah, but
man
he does have
out
a
of Florida, but you can't
fascination.
take the Florida out of the man.
This is true. He does have a fascination with blue. He also has a fascination with using AI photos, and like he describes, when women meet up with him, they're less than impressed because they fall for these AI photos, which, like, how? I mean, honestly, they look so fake, but
Right.
he tries to Photoshop him into, like, boardroom offices, nature places, and stuff like that, and what are you
You
gonna
gotta
do
have a
when a
couple
woman
of them.
asks you where you are in these photos? Like, "Oh, like, where were you on that trip?" Like, what, you just gonna make something up? Like, it's
I
just
know.
horrible, and then he wonders, he says, "Oh, well, women do the same thing with using makeup and filters and stuff." I'm like, "Well, a filter is, I don't care if a man uses a filter, but, like, if it's AI completely, I'm gonna think you're a fake profile. Like, I don't even think you're a real person at this point."
Right, right. Well, and some of them he had himself, in a boardroom and all of this stuff.
Yes.
And it's like, first of all, you should not believe your eyes. It's pretty obvious that it's AI. But if you do believe your eyes, then you think that this man works in some kind of boardroom. And I don't know what he does for a living, but I'm sure, based on the way he dressed, that he doesn't work anywhere nice.
Yes, and then what happens when he goes on a date with somebody, or if he starts getting in a relationship and they want him to wear one of the outfits that he's in this photo with? Like, he doesn't own these outfits, they're made up. Like, he's wearing Hugh
Or they
Hefner
want to
style
go on the
robes.
boat that he was photographed on, but he's never probably been on a boat in his
Did
life,
you
even though he lives
notice
in Florida.
the weird puffy, like, robe situation he was wearing in one of these photos? Like, the man was Hugh Hefner or something. Like, he had this, like,
Yeah.
pinkish
Mhm.
magenta robe and then the puffy thing,
It was like
and I'm
a
like,
big, weird suit jacket with a scarf.
velvet something.
Yes,
Yeah, it was
it was so
strange.
weird. Yeah, this
I'm
guy
like,
is
all
weird.
you and then to see this man only wear blue, like, you don't own any of these outfits. There's no
I
way.
know. I know. And so Louisa, our girl Louisa, is shocked by this man. She said she got the questionnaire back and she couldn't really believe what she was reading, with all the ideas that he has about women's bodies and healthy babies and long hair and all this stuff. So she said none of this is true at all. I mean, I didn't need Louisa to tell me that, but I'm glad that somebody's at least correcting the record here. And I know that we have the right woman for the job. I don't know if he's going to listen to her all the way through, but I do have faith in Louisa, because I think she's direct, sort of like Katarina is, but I think she's also, she's got a warm spot in her heart for this guy somehow, some way. She's figured out he wants love. I'm going to help him find love. And I think that's honorable, because I would tell that guy to kick rocks.
Yeah, it's hard because it's not only trying to matchmake for somebody, but it's also trying to train somebody, like, how to be a
To be matchable.
normal. Yes, like, it's almost like a therapy as well, because the work these people are doing is more than just matchmaking, I'm telling you what, especially, like, Dolly with
Speaking of,
Harold.
yep, here
Yep.
we go. I mean,
Mhm.
Dolly is helping Harold. I know she said that she's a matchmaker and a relationship coach, so I think she does have a little more background, I guess, as far as what she's able to offer to her clients. But Dolly is teaching Harold something that I think is really important, especially considering that he does have autism. And I think learning these types of
Mhm.
nonverbal communications is important, and what they mean too. So they did some practicing on doing a light touch in a date. And I think that that's a really nice thing. She's definitely right that when someone, kind of touches your arm, and, it's a way to not be invasive with somebody, but to still make physical contact. I know Harold
Right.
oftentimes likes to ask people to hold their hand, and that's nice, but there's other ways to have physical contact. So I thought that this was great that she taught him this, and they
Right.
did a little practice in the car.
Right. Hold on a second. I have to reply to this. Um Yeah, I like that too, especially like you said, because he's autistic. So like those kinds of things do need to be spelled out for them. Also, like maybe how often to do that because you also don't want him to do it too often.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as I saw on like his date, he only did it like once or twice. So it was nice to see him utilize these skills because Harold is willing to learn and willing to like internalize these things and do them the right way that he's taught. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
something he does have to be taught because holding someone's hand sometimes on the first date might be a lot, especially for somebody like Harold. I'm
Mhm.
sure Dolly had an earful from Cheesy about how uncomfortable that was because that's really what
Yeah.
stunk the rest of their date.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I can empathize with Harold and having the whole clammy hand situation too. So I think just giving him another way to connect with someone physically that's not invasive, that he doesn't have to share his clammy hand all the time. I think that that is helpful as well. And I like the way that Harold came into this date too. In the confessional, he said that he wants to be himself because he was coming out of the date with Cheesy feeling really sad and rejected. So he's saying he's just going to try to be himself the best that he can. He's going to be energized and happy and hopes that he gets that back in return from his date.
Mhm.
So his date is going to be Amber, and Dolly thinks that Amber might be Harold's perfect match. So it seems that Dolly feels she has worn Harold down enough for him to maybe meet someone who's actually good for him. And she said Amber's in her mid 30s. She's never been married and she wants to meet a man who has passions. And I think that that's definitely Harold. So I have high hopes for Amber.
Me as well.
Me as
I
well.
hope so. I mean,
Yeah.
we do see them meet up on this date, and you can tell she's not like attracted to him. But I do like what she had to say about that, which was that
Yeah.
she even though she's not automatically physically attracted to him, there might be that has the potential to grow possibly, and she just is still willing to feel out the date. I felt like their conversations went a lot smoother. She was
Yeah.
actually actively engaging with him, asking him questions, which I think Harold liked that. I think he needed that. He
Yeah.
didn't always answer in the like best way, but I think
Hmm.
what we see in the preview when he talks to her later about his autism and how people just need to be patient with him. He needs to find somebody that's going to be patient with that because he's not always going to say things the right way or the
Yeah.
most socially acceptable way.
Yeah, yeah. I think that this is setting up to be a really good date, but in the beginning, yeah, it's kind of like, oh, you don't really know how it's going to go. They do end up
Mhm.
ordering some food. She calls it a Singaporean feast. They order all different kinds of things, but things that I am sure Harold has never had before. He gets these chili crabs, which I believe are soft shell crabs in Chile.
Mhm.
And then well, he doesn't get, but Amber gets for him some pig ears. He wanted nothing to do with that food, Joe. Absolutely not. Thank you for joining us. We're happy to have you here.
We
And
also
yeah,
missed her. We missed your comment about I'm guessing this is about our villain Chad. It
oh
was as horrible can be because it couldn't be
yeah,
our Harold.
yeah. We no, not Harold, not my Harold. But
But yeah,
yeah,
he
Harold
didn't
wanted
want
nothing to do
anything.
with that food. He was a good sport, though. I mean, this was kind of the episode of, at least in Singapore, kind of diving into the
Mhm.
food and diving into that aspect of it, and really, eating in a
Yeah.
local way rather than eating as a tourist, which I thought was cool. But I can't say that I would eat. I don't even soft shell crabs are pretty common in the U.S., but I don't really like those either, and I like crab. There's just something
I'm
about eating the
just
whole thing.
I'm not a seafood person, so I couldn't go to these countries and
Yeah,
enjoy
see, I
myself,
love
you know?
seafood, but I'm not adventurous. Like, Sarah's date was
Mhm.
asking, how adventurous are you with your food? And I'm just not. I'll be honest about that. I know that that's boring. I will say though, those pig ears did not look terrible.
Right, but for me, it's consistency too, and the way he described how it was, just
Awful.
like chewable Jello. Like, I was like,
With
"Harold."
crunchies in it. And, like, I'm sorry, but I have never been a fan. Me and my dad used to argue about this stuff all the time, like, especially on Thanksgiving, because my dad will call, chicken and turkey a bird, like a lot of
Yeah.
people do, because it's a bird, right? But when I think of turkey, I think of turkey meat. And when I think of a bird, I think of a bird. So I used to get mad with him when I was younger because I'm like, don't call it a bird. And he'd always make fun of me. But I feel like we need to, I can appreciate wanting to call the things what they are, because we should be aware that what we're doing and what we're consuming and all of that. But I just don't want to be eating cartilage and calling it cartilage.
He was trying
Can
to
we
avoid the
call it,
cartilage.
crunchy, crunchy appetizer, something like, why cartilage? I don't need to know that that's what it is when it's in my mouth. And yes, he
Sorry, if
said it
y'all
was
see me.
unbelievably crunchy.
Yeah, if y'all see me texting, it's because like 40 people are trying to ask me to take their shift for tomorrow, and I already work tomorrow, so it's like the
Well, then
fourth
leave
person
them
today.
people alone. Damn.
It's the fourth person today, and I have to keep saying like I work. Like what is
If
this?
if they were looking at the damn schedule, they probably would know.
It's crazy. Anyways, but
So yeah, he did not acquire the pig ear taste, but he was a good sport about it, and I thought that was a good thing. And they seemed to start, enjoying themselves. I know that was a really funny interaction.
yeah, the producer did ask if he ended up acquiring the taste because Harold's like, I think it's just an acquired taste. And the producer's
Hmm.
like, well, did you acquire the taste? And he said, no,
No, ma'am.
not at all. I mean, Harold's kind of having it rough out there between the cat bites and the cats and then now having to eat pig. Like, he's really putting himself through it to find love.
He is working hard. He also
Mhm.
landed his first, I didn't get a picture of this, but he landed his first sort of semi good flirt. She had some sauce on her forehead and she was wiping it off, and he said something about her being so sweet that she needed something salty. And
Mhm.
she actually laughed at that, a genuine laugh. And I was like, yes, Harold, there you go.
Yeah, it
Finally.
was it was good. And he also gave her some good compliments because she talked about how certain things have collagen in them and help the skin. And he's like,
Yep.
"Oh, well, you have very nice skin." So he is doing a lot better. I think on these dates, he's really learning. I think from last season, his first date then to like now is just like it's a
Yeah,
good progression. I won't
it
want to
is.
say a
He's bringing it.
180, but he's getting there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to Amber. She's doing nothing at this date but kissing this man. This was not her plan, but I don't know how she diverted so quickly from having a plan to basically grill this guy about his finances and his future and what he wants for a family and all of that, to just sitting at the bar drinking Guinness, kissing this guy. I guess I get it. I guess we probably have all been there, but that's not what you're here for, lady.
Yeah, you had goals going into this. You're not
But
just on a random date, but
he is looking mighty fine on this date. I have a crush on Keavan.
I don't know, it's just not my type, but
He's
I can
not my type
appreciate it.
either, but he's just cute.
He's definitely our friend Miss Kinsey's type.
Oh yes,
Very
yes, he
much
does
so.
look like that guy. I always
Yep.
forget his.
He looks like her typical
Uh-huh.
go-to.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So Amber brings up, finally she gets to her goals, and she brings it up in such a weird way that I just wish she was a little more direct about what she was asking. What
Mhm.
is it that you would like for yourself as far as a family? What do you do for work? Does she even know what this man does for work? What are your goals in that aspect? All of that. Have you thought
Yeah.
about moving out? Do you want to live in Ireland? Do you want to live in Texas? Just what any of these questions, I think, in a direct way would be fine. But instead, she just wants him to paint a picture out of nothing of what the next 10 years is going to look like. And this man has nothing. Doesn't even have any paint to paint the picture.
Yeah, he's not giving her anything, but it's also the way she worded it for me, like, just ask him about his future goals, ask him what he does. Don't be like, "Oh, just imagine in, like, 10 years when you're 45, like, what are you doing?" It's so strange to weird it that way, and then to say, I'm going to ask you a weird question. That's not a weird question. He knows you're out here to date for marriage. I mean, why else are you going through a matchmaker? He knows that you're in it to find your true love, whatever the case is.
Especially
Would
on a
he,
second date. I mean, I think these are typical questions, at least for a second date, especially like you said, when, you've been connected by a matchmaker. You guys aren't here messing around. It's not like Tinder. You guys
yeah.
at least have some ideas about wanting to date someone seriously.
Right. And I kind of was disappointed in him because as he's using a matchmaker as well, he should have answers for these questions. He should already be thinking about this kinds of stuff. And he should kind of be on the same page. I mean, if you're using a matchmaker in your mid to late 30s, you would think you're doing the same thing, trying to find your person, trying to vet out people, see what their goals are. And when she says her goals, he's just like, oh, well, I hope it all works out for you, or it's all going to work out for you. Like, he's not involved in that in any way. He's just
It
here.
sounded so that was probably the most dismissive thing that he said to Amber thus far. I mean, he did not even say nice or I share that or none of that. He didn't involve himself. He didn't even
Mhm.
co-sign it. Like I would like those things too. It was just a hope you get that.
Yes,
It was kind of weird.
it was almost admitting like we're just doing this for fun, not for the long haul. And that's not what she's interested in. And I don't understand why pay for a matchmaker because I'm sure Katerina costs some dollars. Why pay for her and waste somebody else's time if you're not going to answer these questions in an honest way? He didn't even answer the question himself. He just deflected it back onto her, like, "Oh, well, what are
Yep.
your goals? Because I've never thought about this." Well, think about it now. But you don't have to immediately answer a question. Be like, "Give me a minute," and
Right.
then answer. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to have the
You know,
perfect
I've never
answer.
I've never used a matchmaker. Maybe some of our viewers who are watching now or will watch later have. Is it possible that maybe the matchmakers just sort of have a Rolodex of dateable people, but they're not necessarily, co-signed by the matchmaker like Amber is? Like maybe Amber hires her and then the matchmaker has sort of a like they vetted them out like they're real people and they're not murderers, but maybe
Like, they
they
find them
don't
on
have them.
Tinder or something.
Yeah,
Or
maybe they don't have them all, up to a certain type of standard. I don't know. I've never used a matchmaker. I don't know if every single person that she hooks people up with are like really
mhm.
all the way worked through with them, or if it's just like, this is a guy who's interested in people.
Right.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
it works.
it I don't know. That'd be good to look into. Maybe that's something I can ask ChatGPT later,
Yes,
like
yes,
how that
that's
works. Or I
yes,
would love for them to do a reunion where somebody explains how it works because yeah, I have the same questions because sometimes some of these people on these dates, I'm like, what are you like, why are you using a matchmaker for this if you guys are not very
right.
interested in
Yeah, I
or
wonder if they
serious?
just know that they're a contact, of a matchmaker,
Mhm.
and they might get a call to get a date, with someone who's interested, but maybe they're not hiring a matchmaker. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I
Because I
don't know
have the
either.
same questions. I think Keevan's a little, I think a lot of like the men that we saw in this episode, even what's his name that's dating Sarah, Freddie. I can appreciate Sarah's position that Freddie doesn't seem like he's ready for all of that. He just doesn't seem mature enough to me. But,
Mhm.
again, so yeah, I think some of these people that are being set up with the matchmakers maybe are not actually vetted by the matchmakers, but they're just a contact.
Yeah,
Hopefully someone can clarify that, or maybe Anne will talk to ChatGPT later and we'll talk more about that.
I can ask
But
ChatGPT.
just like we have no clarity on that, Amber has had no clarity on Keevan's finances whatsoever. She has had some clarity on how his tongue feels, but other than that, we got nothing. So she asked him if it was weird. They get up and she was like, "Do you want to go and get a snack or get some food?" And he said, "Yeah." And then she said something about taking her back to the hotel room. So I don't know
Mhm.
what their plans are for the night. I don't know where they're going to go. They just got out of the taxi cab and walked into a little restaurant bar, and that was it for them for the episode. So we shall see.
Okay, so this actually says with international matchmakers, like in Match Me Abroad, shows like Match Me Abroad often feature matchmakers who do some vetting, but it can vary widely. They usually work with local networks, social circles, or dating pools. The depth of vetting depends on the matchmaker's ethics, professionalism, and resources. On the show, it sometimes seems like matches are less thoroughly screened. It may include people who just want to date or be on TV. So, yes, it may feel random, especially if it's for entertainment or loosely structured.
Okay.
So, I guess it just depends on how far. And with Katarina having so many different countries, I doubt she has the time to sit and interview every single one. Like they're saying too that, sometimes these matchmakers vet out by doing background checks, personality assessments, in-depth interviews, and some even have psychological evaluations. I think
I feel
all
like the
that.
people that hire the matchmakers probably get all that done. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think the other people, like they said, might just be sort of daters.
Right. So I don't know. I don't know how they actually find the people, but that is
Mhm.
interesting to me that you would think they also somewhat have a relationship with the matchmaker because like when they also talk about the date, just like when Katarina came back from Hot Sauce Man, she's had all these things that he said to her. So is he
Right.
also hired her and maybe Keavan hasn't really like directly hired her? I just wonder. I wish this was
Yeah.
like more cleared up in the show, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the show is just making me more curious too in general about matchmaking and how the whole system works. And I'm sure it's different, for everybody and every matchmaker and probably in different countries and stuff. There's just,
Mhm.
I'm sure, different norms. But yeah, I'm really curious too as to how all of that works. And maybe that will be more clear someday, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
So we returned to Sarah, and after they left his hungry hamster showing, they did decide to go out and get something to eat at his favorite restaurant. And his favorite restaurant happens to be in the red light district, which I find is really strange, actually. And I'm not offended by the fact that it resides in the red light district, but are you spending so much time, sir, in the red light district that you've happened to find your favorite restaurant there that you had to just, shimmy downstairs real quick in between sessions and happened upon your favorite frog porridge? I,
Yeah.
I just want to know.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. It does seem like a pretty popular place because a lot of people are there, but like you said,
Really?
are they just like regular visitors of the Red Lake District? Or is the Red Lake District, where is it located? Is it like in downtown where you might just, it might not be as big as we might think it is, and maybe it's just like a couple roads and you just have
Probably.
to walk through it. Who knows? So
Yeah.
I'll give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt on that because maybe it's just in that, like the location is in like downtown.
Right.
Um, but
And it
Sarah's
doesn't
not
seem like
having
it's
it.
quite like Amsterdam or like Las Vegas where there's people
Mhm.
outside that are kind of, trying to acquire customers. It did seem kind of quiet. He said everything kind of goes on inside. So maybe
And
people
why
are.
does he know that? I guess I
That's what I'm
mean,
saying.
possible.
That was my whole thing. I don't know. I'm not offended by the fact that you're taking her there or whatever, but how much time are you spending over there to know about your favorite restaurant? And if I was Sarah looking the way that I'm looking, I mean, I guess she doesn't have any appreciation for how she presents herself sometimes, but I would feel weird walking around in
Yeah,
the red light district with a man who is obviously a local and I am obviously not a local looking the way that
yeah.
I look. I just would know that people are making all kinds of assumptions and you got these cameras following you and all this stuff. And, I just don't like people making assumptions about me. I know that that's not my business what people are thinking of me, but I just know there are people thinking of our girl Sarah a certain way.
Well, I
And
don't think
this,
she likes it either, but I will give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt that he probably is just a local and maybe does just know these things from
yeah,
living there.
yeah.
So,
I mean, I've gone to all kinds of places to get good food for sure. So I
mhm.
do get that.
Yeah, but they decide to have frog porridge, which is like full frogs in this soup thing. She tries it even though she's
Mhm.
not interested in trying it. And she also talks to him about like foods from Texas. And so they had like a decent conversation. But this is where she brings up that she kind of lied earlier. She has no idea what beatboxing is. And then she proceeds to ask him to beatbox for her. He does. And then she complains about it. And I'm like, lady, you asked him to be. She's like, do these Singaporean men just like not have like dating ethics where they bring me to the red light district at a restaurant that's outside, which like who cares if the restaurant is outside? Like that might be a nice
Yeah,
night. Um,
right.
and then it has me
I
eat
think
frog
everybody in Singapore eats
porridge.
outside unless you're some kind of rich guy who's dining, at the top of the sky, right? And I think that that's what her expectation really was for the state. But no, girl, you get frog porridge, you get a little taste of the culture. If you want to date somebody, or even better yet, marry someone, have a family
Mhm.
with someone who is from Singapore, you should be outside eating frog porridge. I'm sorry. I'm not saying it's a punishment, but like these are things you need to integrate into your
Right.
life.
Yeah. I wish she would have went to like some Singaporean restaurants or something before she went or did any research. I feel like this girl went in with just a movie in her mind and she didn't actually do any research. She didn't watch any anime. She didn't do anything to prepare herself for this at all. Like it's just wild to me how these Americans like go in expecting everything to be like America but just in a different country. It just really really grinds my gears. But she's also
Yeah,
complaining about him beatboxing. I'm like, lady, you asked him to beatbox for you. And then she's like, well,
I
he's
know.
really good. But I
I know.
just don't understand why he would do that. And it's like, but you asked for it.
Yeah,
Like,
she did ask for it, and you're right. She was totally horrified by the whole entire thing. Yes, she only has one heartbreak, yet she'll yes, oh my god, we talked about this a little bit last episode. I don't know if you caught that on the rewatch, but I thought that that
yeah.
was the most immature thing to say. It's just you don't know what the future holds for you, and yeah, I get that you're hurting and all of that, but that was just something. So she
Oh,
only
and
has one
she's
more heartbreak
also
in her.
dating like a 40, 50-year-old man and expecting him to have children and settle down with her like he hadn't done that 4 times in the past.
Yes, she just has a lot of unreasonable ideas about things, and then she blames it all on Disney movies. It's just like, give me a break, we've all watched these Disney movies, and I don't expect these things. I expect to be treated well, but I don't if I'm dating a Singaporean man and he takes me outside for dinner, I'm not gonna be offended by that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to, like, acclimate and figure out if it's normal or not. And if it's
Like
normal, I'm not gonna be mad. This is just wild.
Like, who are
I
you,
love
Gypsy
being outside.
Rose? Like, did Disney movies raise you? I'm confused on why Disney is the reason that you have high
Right,
expectations. Even though in
right.
every Disney movie, someone dies. Like, there's
Yeah,
always some kind of horrible struggle in these movies. It's not just all rainbows and sunshine and stuff. Like, there's a lot of struggle in these movies to get to that. It's not yeah, I don't get her at all, but I'm here to watch her because wow.
I do wanna watch her for sure. I have a feeling I'm gonna be entertained, by her shenanigans, but I'm not gonna say I'm not rooting for her. I mean, I definitely hope that she finds her person and she finds love and everything, but I'm just not sure we're gonna be able to witness that in the short amount of time that she's gonna
It's
be in
not gonna
Singapore.
be in Singapore, you know.
Yeah.
I think she would have
Yeah.
did better in Europe or something. I don't understand why she chose Singapore other than the movie that
Well,
she
and
references.
like you've been bringing up too, the people's expectations and Americans coming in and kind of just having these weird expectations. I think even if you expect that it's going to be different, I think Americans expect that it's going to be different, but like it would be if you're in a resort in Singapore, not like you're living with someone
Yeah.
who, dating someone who actually lives there day in and day out. It's not, every day is not a treat everywhere in the world. It's like things are just normal. People just
Mhm.
eat regular things. I mean, I wouldn't call frog porridge regular, but they will.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they like a lot of fish and
mhm.
amphibians, I guess, and all types of stuff, but I don't know, it just makes me feel a little bit crazy because I just can't imagine going to another country to find a man and then
Yeah.
not doing any research on it. In the same breath, it makes me feel like she has that stereotype in her head, like all Asians are super duper smart, so maybe they all have like really, really nice
They're
jobs
all
and that
successful entrepreneurs, she thinks.
yeah. Which like
Yeah.
I know she might be successful in her own right, but I've never heard of her jewelry. and she's from Texas, and I live in Texas, so
Yeah, that's very true. And, you know, she's talking about how she always dates successful entrepreneurs. And I do think she has this idea that a lot of the people in Singapore are that. And it's so funny to me that she's blaming Dolly for all of this towards the end of her date. She just says, I'm so annoyed with Dolly. This is not what I was expecting. And it's like, he's probably a very typical Singaporean man.
right. Like,
At
she thinks
least
that
he's not like Victoria's date, you know, splashing hot sauce into his eyes and all kinds of stuff.
well, let's be real, in a lot of countries, people are married by the time they're in their late 30s, you know? Like, this may be the pool she has to choose from. Like, what was it? Morocco last season? There
Mm-hmm.
wasn't many women that weren't gonna be, like, 20 years old for that weird older
For that,
Chad guy, because 'cause they're
yeah,
all married, have kids, have a family and stuff. Like, cultures are different. You know, like,
yeah,
they get married younger, a lot of them are in arranged marriages. It's like, you gotta research, girl. Like, I can't drill this in these people's head enough.
yeah,
Research.
yeah. I think their research, though, that was kind of my point with the vacation thing, is they probably either went on vacation there at one point or
Mhm,
they know somebody who's been there on vacation. And that's just a totally, you know, being a
mhm.
tourist or thing than trying to date someone who's a local at a place that is going to just, you know, have the normal life there all the time.
Yeah,
It's,
it's like me
yeah,
going
it's
to
very
Disney
strange.
and stuff and expecting to meet some really great upstanding man in Florida when really all they do is wear shorts, no shirt, and wrestle gators or something, like
Just like our
you
friend Tony, who's coming up.
oh, yes. We'll go do we go back to him? Is
Our
that what
friend
happened?
that's not my friend.
Mhm.
But yeah. So I mean, they pretty much end the date. She learns that this man, you know, not only is an artist, not only is taking her outside to eat, taking her to the red light district, eating frog porridge, but now the man lives with his mom in government housing, and she's just about had enough. So she's gonna leave now, and she's pissed off at Dolly for
Did
what
she
that was
also say
about.
she lives with her mom? I mean, at one point in the confessional, but I know she doesn't because she said that she's just a couple streets down or something, but I don't know,
I
like,
heard that
again.
too, but with the closed captions on, she actually said, "So what am I gonna live with your mom too?"
Oh, okay.
Like if they were to be together. Because I heard that too, and I was like, I could have swore you just said your mom lives in a house that
Well,
you can walk to.
you might, because I have heard a lot in Asian cultures that they do move in the in-laws and they all
Yeah.
live together. That's a thing
Hmm.
down there. In fact, I saw on I don't know if this was a military thing, but this girl from America is living in, I believe it's Korea or China or something, with her husband now, and they just moved his parents in because that's part of their culture. Once the parents get older, you
Hmm.
do take in the parents and you do for them what they did for you. It's very like, do research. Like,
Yeah.
look,
Right.
that's very much an Asian culture to take in parents. And with a lot of
Right.
cultures, actually, like the parents either live close by or that they live in the same house. I know I'm Italian, and my when my great grandmother lost her husband, my grandmother moved her in. That's very an Italian culture, is to move people in when you lose people. If my grandmother didn't have Alzheimer's, I'm sure she'd be living with my parents. It's
Right.
kind of like it's just in the culture. So like, yeah, do some research, girl. Like, not everything is like America. I just it just drives me nuts. It
Yeah.
does. Just the
Yeah.
ignorance of
Well,
it.
we're all driven nuts right now. Sarah is mad. We're mad at Sarah. Sarah's mad at Dolly. Dolly's about to be mad at Sarah. It's gonna go down next episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I can't wait
So
to see what her mom thinks of this whole date too.
I'm also curious to hear about that. And I'm curious to hear about the whole, you know, you're dripping in designers, you know, all of that kind of stuff. But we'll get to that with the next time. It is so common in other countries, yes. So yeah, I think, you know, like Anne said, like we have kind of harped on in this episode, because this is frustrating, and it was frustrating last season too. That yeah, people need to have at least some basic level of expectation. You know, read one of them, you know, Spain for Dummies books or
Right.
something. I just something.
Watch a
So
PBS special on the country or something. You gotta know
anything,
something.
literally anything. Yeah. So
Anyways,
speaking of dummies in Spain, we have Tony, and he's finally meeting Louisa, and Louisa is hoping to sort of talk some sense into him a little bit before his first round of dating. And I don't think it's gonna work.
I do not, and that hairline thing ain't working for him because I don't see it, when he's in the daylight.
Yeah, it's
It's
real
not
faint.
there. Like,
Real faint, buddy.
yeah, it ain't there.
Well,
Might
he
be
needs
like
to go to Turkey. He's probably close enough to Turkey that he could take a train or something. I obviously don't know
Florida.
geography. Don't call me out.
I think
No,
Turkey's
he's in
in like
Brazil.
I know, but I think Turkey's in like Europe area.
Yeah.
That's across an ocean.
Isn't
At least that's what I thought. I thought Turkey's like over
I could
by
be wrong.
Europe.
I'm
Mhm.
not necessarily arguing. I just want to know now.
Now we must know. But
Mhm.
yes, he is meeting up with Louisa to talk about his
Yeah,
unrealistic
Turkey's definitely not in
expectations.
South America. I guess I didn't realize how far South America was from Africa. I thought that there was some closer space than the
Africa.
entire South Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah. But I mean, it's still a flight at this point.
Mhm.
If you really
Mhm.
wanted it, you could do it. I mean, I feel like it'd be about just as cost effective to get your hair transplant there than get it tattooed here, but and it just probably looks like weird ass forehead freckles, honestly.
Yeah, completely that way. So
Yeah.
he puts in, his little lookbook, his ask for
He oh, she went off. So yes, he puts in his little aspirations list and she comes at him about the short hair thing. She's trying to let him know that it doesn't matter, like that's not an actual thing if somebody's hair is short, that they do take care of themselves. Like he's got a lot of falsalities that he believes in that aren't true. The same thing with curvy women. She's just trying to reiterate like none of that is actually true. So I don't know. I feel for Louisa because she's got a lot of work to do on this man, and he's not making it easy for her at all. You're still muted.
I feel for her too, but somehow she's found a way to like something about him enough to want to work with him, which I think is very important. This is a professional woman. She
Mhm.
was being honest with him, but saying everything is not true that you're talking about. But at the same time, she's ready and willing to find him love, which I think is great. And she lets him know that she has a surprise for him. And I think they already have kind of a cool dynamic where she's calling him out a little bit on some of his needs and asks and requests, but she's also trying to be kind at the same time. So she says, I have this surprise for you. And he's like, kind of grumbles about it. And she's all, oh, not, you'd be excited. This is exciting. And then he
Yeah.
asks for a photo of these women. And she says, absolutely not. No way.
Yeah, you don't get that. I mean, no one else gets that. You don't get that. Except for Monica kinda got that with the little video of Bernardo, but
True.
I never seen anyone else get a preview of their date. And I think she also, like, curled her hair and did all this today just to
That's for
prove
him.
that with short hair, you can get ready and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But to
He's
him,
not
that's
attracted to
just
her at all.
well, I'd be glad if I was her, thank God. But
I
what is long enough hair to him? Like, what's the length here? I mean, is it to the butt? Is it past the titas? Is it like what is long
arm
enough?
length. Yeah.
Yeah. What is the length requirement here? And
I
I'll
don't
just
know.
never get over the fact that he doesn't have any hair. So why is this such a deal breaker for him? And I mean,
Mhm.
people with long hair, they might not take care of themselves. I mean, it can
Listen,
go either way.
the
Same.
reason I'll tell you guys right now, I have hair as long as my arm. I bet you that that's what this man is looking for. Do you want to know the reason I have long hair? Because I don't go to the salon. Because I
Mhm.
don't go to the salon. Okay? I don't I don't do anything with it. I have it long so that it can just be long. And everyone's like, "Oh, you have long pretty hair." I have long hair cuz I'm lazy. Okay? So this guy has it all kinds of not figured out. All
Right.
kinds of not figured out.
And the same thing with the voluptuous birthing canals. Like, you can have a unhealthy baby or a baby with an issue if you're voluptuous. You can also have a healthy
Mhm.
baby if you are skinny or if you're overweight or whatever. That's
Yeah.
not what the health is based on. The health is based on what are you doing while you're pregnant? You know,
Right.
what
The genetics that
genetics
are
is
happening
at
and
play here. Yes,
the
there's so
things
many
that
other
come out in
factors.
the environment that you're in and stress levels, all kinds of things, but not the type of body that the woman has, certainly not how long her hair may or may not be. None of those things actually matter.
I'm telling you, this man needs a health class or something. Someone needs to
I
come
think he
in
needs
and
more.
teach
He
him.
needs a damn lobotomy. His brain doesn't work, and
I know he
he
needs.
admits it. He says
Yeah.
he'll just go on a date with any woman who wants to go on a date with him, who looks attractive enough, and that he's obviously had no success with this, one, because he's insufferable, and two, because he's not actually asking these women anything about themselves before they go on a date, before they, continue on this romantic or physical relationship until he realizes that they're not the right person. So thank God he has a matchmaker, but I hope that he's not kind of doing it like Veronica's doing it, where she just wants the matchmaker to do all the work for her, because he has a lot of work to
Yeah.
do. This.
I hope he learns something in this process. And I really think that his first date's gonna have short hair for some reason. I just do.
Well,
I
he's
think he's
about
gonna have
to go
to.
on a whole bunch of blind dates with a blindfold, and I think that there's going to be a couple of girls.
Oh, that's gonna be great for him because I think that that's what he needs is to choose somebody without seeing them. He's gonna be
Yeah,
feeling though. He's gonna be like, is there hair?
he is going to be touching for them. I bet you're right. He'll be touching for some
Mhm.
voluptuousness. He'll be touching for some hair. He's going to be looking for anything that he can to like really figure out what they look like with
Yeah.
his blinders on. But
Oh, for sure.
Louisa encourages him that yes, attraction is important and it's one of the first things that happen, but it's not the only thing that's important, and that they have to look for other things that align, with each other. So obviously that's the case, when you're married to somebody. Anybody who's married knows that, some days we look a little ugly, but we still have to
Yeah.
want to laugh with the person.
And some days we're not our best, or some days we're insufferable.
Yeah.
And, we have good days and bad days. And that's just how a marriage works. So there's no way people are perfect all the time or that they're going to be voluptuous all the time. Or, especially after childbirth. Does he think these girls are just going to snap right back like in their 30s? Like, give them a minute. I just.
Right. He's gonna have, women tend to lose their hair after they give birth. Women tend to, their bodies are a little misshapen sometimes after they give birth. And so I wonder how he's gonna feel about having a second child with a woman who, might be a little different than
I'm
she
sorry,
was
even if I
before.
ended up with this man, I was like on the shore, whatever, and he was my person or whatever, seeing all this, being like, listen, you're the man, that bald headed man who AIs his pictures that only wears blue, and you're having all these expectations.
I
Like,
know.
take some seats.
I know. A
He
couple of
does
seats.
offer nothing. Like,
Yeah, it's so true. Not a thing, not even a single piece of hair.
not even not even a good conversation. I can't even see this man having a decent conversation, honestly. Like, what is there to talk about? Oh, you're voluptuous, so we're gonna have a healthy baby. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I could see things getting really ugly. I feel like he was even trying to flirt with the lady that was at the airport for a little while. He was just, if she would have made eye contact with him, he would have been all up into her business,
He
because she
was
was
not
really
her
forcing
type.
that on.
She did have
He's
long hair
not much
though.
of anyone's type, let me tell you that.
Yeah. He doesn't have redeeming qualities like Keavan, at least. I mean, I know Keavan don't know where he's going, but at least he's got some redeeming qualities. This man is. I can't believe he's even wearing green in this photo thing, but he's
It's shocking. Maybe that's why he looks so different too.
he got
But
a navy blue undershirt on though. I think so.
I think so, yeah. It's definitely not black, but
Yeah. The
he
man.
the episode ends off with him, sort of agreeing with Louisa. I mean, she's got her work cut out for him and she's got a lot of work to do. And he is talking about how the pressure feels like it's on because, he wants to find his his person, and he sucks. So Louisa really has to get the job done here. So we do find out in the next episode that Louisa is going to do, I think, the only thing that a reasonable matchmaker could do, which is take this man and a blindfold and have him sort of go on a couple of speed dating rounds so that he can talk to a couple different women without knowing if they're voluptuous or have long hair or short hair or long nails or, whatever the hell that he can't stand.
I hope
So
the girls are also blindfolded because I don't know.
You're right. I think that they are, if I remember from the preview.
How do they get to the table? I guess like someone's got to be ushering these people around if they're all blindfolded, unless they're actually blind.
Oh, for sure. I think Louisa's out there, figuring this whole thing out for this poor man.
I will say I'm glad she's got to have her work cut out for her with this guy because she's got it way too easy with Monica. Monica gets along with everybody. Monica's probably one of the easier clients. So it's good to see Louisa have to get her hands a little dirty.
Yeah. She has some work to do here. So, speaking of Monica, we didn't see her this episode. We also didn't see Victoria this episode. So we will see those two back next episode. We're also going to see Harold flying a kite, and he talks about sparks flying. He's going to share with his date that he has autism and that he needs some patience. But he said in his confessional that we saw a little feeling butterflies and feeling really good about everything. So I'm excited to see that the rest of that date play out. Sarah's going to talk to Dolly about her displeasure with Freddie, how he's not as established as she's used to. And Dolly is immediately going to turn around and ask her if she expects for men to pay for all the designer items that she has been draping herself in, according to Dolly. No shade there, Dolly. And then we also see that Tony's going to do his blindfold day, and Monica's going to meet Bruno for the first time, and she is completely destabilized afterwards. We do love Monica. I am a little bit worried for what's going to happen to Monica. I don't know who she's calling at the end of this teaser, but
I think it's her daughter. I'm hoping it's her daughter or something.
I am praying it's her daughter because I feel like they kind of want to. Yeah, I feel like they kind of want to set it up like she's calling
Bernardo. Or something.
Yes. And I'm like, please don't call that man. Like, I don't care what you did with Bruno. I don't care if you went all the way with Bruno. Do not involve Bernardo in this mess. He is your man. I don't think Bruno's going to be her man, but I've never seen Bruno. So.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see. It sounds like she had a great date with both, and I think she's just super conflicted, and it's getting her emotional because now she has to kind of at some point choose between two guys, which just go on a couple more dates with them. Like, you've only been on one on each date. Like, just give it a couple more dates. Maybe one isn't vibing with you as much as you thought from the first date. That can happen a lot. You go on a first date, it goes great, and then you go on a second and third, and you're like, it's not really.
Right. I'm not as curious as I was before.
So give it some time, but I'm hoping she calls her. I'm thinking too that she calls her daughter or somebody back home because, I just think they love to set us up for thinking the worst, like they did with Harold a lot, and they do like to do that. So I'm more or less thinking.
Although in the case with Amber and Keavan, I mean, Keavan said exactly what he said in the preview and nothing else. Like that was it. So I mean, it's very much possible that something not great is going on, but yes, I'm praying that it's her daughter that she's talking to. I just don't know why all the apologies. Maybe just because she's emotional, and she doesn't want her daughter to hear her emotional. But it just seemed chaotic, and I hope that our girl Monica's not spiraling because I do really like her. She has so much to offer. It's not the end of the world if you're attracted to two people. It's actually a great thing. So just let's keep it going.
Especially when you're in this situation. I mean, shoot, as we're seeing over and over again, people can't even get past a first date. So the fact that Monica can get 2 second dates.
Yeah. You're on fire, girl.
She's doing the best of almost anybody I've ever seen on this show. Actually, I think so.
I think if Amber got another date with somebody, I think she would do well too. But it just depends on who, obviously, because obviously he cannot be a compost toilet man.
Yeah, but I think that was an extreme that Katarina did. She should have put her on a date with a normal person, because now because now she's clinging to Keavan, thinking he's the only other option she's got other than these weirdos that Katerina must have set off to the side for her. So I bless her heart, but I do think she should go on a couple more dates and feel other people out. I don't put all your eggs in one basket.
She's just way too infatuated with Keavan right now that she needs to cool it down. I mean, I know that it feels good to be in that phase with somebody new, but let's make sure.
You think they hooked up because they went back to the hotel and stuff?
Suspect it. I do. I know when I lived in Ireland for a week, a lot of the hotels, especially the ones in Dublin where she's staying, are connected, to
like
bars
a restaurant
underneath them.
Because I know they did also talk about eating too. So
yes, but she said, "Do you want to take me back to my hotel?" So I think they went back to their hotel, to the underneath restaurant. And then her room's just right up there. And I know that Monica sent Bernardo on his way. So it's not like it's impossible to send a man on his way. But she said
the way she was talking about how it's been a while.
Knocking the dust off, having a sexual exploration or whatever she was saying. Awakening, sorry. So I think something may go down.
I'm not surprised. She said it's been too long. And I guess we will see. We will see. We'll see next week.
Maybe this is one of the cases where she needs to sort of get that out of the way so that it's not causing her to feel really drawn to him just because she wants.
Or it could do the opposite and make her even more invested in him because now they've done that. Yes. I don't know.
Yes, but hopefully she's mature enough that she can just. I'm kind of one of. I need to kind of get that part out of the way so that I can clear my head. Otherwise, I'm on a mission.
Right. I feel that. I feel that. But I think that's how long she's gone and everything. It might have the opposite effect on her. So I guess we'll see.
Sort of like when you lose your virginity to somebody and you're like in love and obsessed. But I think she's already like in love and obsessed. So yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see next week.
Thank you, Joe. We're happy to have you joining us for Match Me Abroad. We're happy that you're here to comment with us. It's always so much fun when people can share their thoughts as well. So thanks for sticking around and watching with us. We'll be back hopefully next week to cover the next episode, if not the following week. But hopefully we can make something work.
We're hoping maybe someday midweek or something. We still have to work that out between us, so we won't tell you a specific day right now, but just keep an eye out, because if not this week, then probably next Saturday.
Yes.
Not this week, whatever, the 9th or something. But we are still keeping up. We're just in a weird spot right now with vacations and summer and everything else and pregnancy and everything. So yes, thank y'all for being so patient with us and keep staying subscribed. And if you are here and you're not subscribed, please subscribe, share the broadcast, talk to your friends about us.
Yes. Click the share button, click the copy link button, do it a couple of times. It doesn't do anything other than that. It just shares it for us and helps us get connected. So let us know also what you guys think about a possible Plathville corner at the end of our episodes here, of me just kind of going over some of the basics of what happened in the latest episode, sharing with Anne, who sort of knows the Plathvilles as the baby Plath from season 1 and 2, and kind of getting some of her reactions to how crazy and insane they are. So let us know if anyone has any interest in doing that. Maybe we'll chat about it next time.
Yep. And remember to like the video as well, so we can get circulated a little bit more, because that does help the algorithm. But yeah, remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, Rihanna, and we will see you sometime.
Yes, sometime.
Sometime.
Goodbye.